Right now, I'd like to share a health journey that I think is just pretty amazing. This is April, and she has had a major issue with her eyes and vision. And I thought you would like to hear her story.
I was born fully sighted, and then when I was 27, I was really stressed out of my life. Now, if you ever have the chicken pox, that virus, you'll have it and then it stays dormant in your body forever. You want it to stay asleep. If it does wake up, it can turn into meningitis, psoriasis, eczema, in rare cases, meningitis. With me, what happened within the chicken pox family, it morphed into evil doppelganger called cytomegalovirus, and then that attacked my retinas, and it's called acute retinal necrosis, which basically means sudden retinal death. So think of a wildfire, and a wildfire just like sweeps super fast, and the firemen have to burn a fire line to stop the fire from jumping the fire line. And because the eyes are connected to the brain, they were worried that if they did not stop the virus, it would go into the brain and start eating my brain. So each eye has been pulled out 5 times, stop the fire line or retinal detachment. And at one point they're like, oh, there's only one backup formula. We don't know if it's gonna, stop it. And then I was like, man, if I'm gonna go blind, it's not gonna be in a hospital. I'm gonna go to the beach, to see a sunset. And then the backup formula worked, and then I was on a liquid form, and I was in the hospital for 3 months. And then I got out, and I was on a shunt with this, it electronically gave me my medication until they had to wait until they got the pill formula. And this was back in 2001. It started in 97 with one eye, and then they're like, oh, it's really rare. And then 4 years later, it hit my left eye. And to give you an example of how rare it is, my contagious infectious disease physician, who's super OG here in the Santa Clara Valley, he was one of 2 original back 40 years ago. He said that he had seen five eyeballs with this, and 2 of them belong to me. So I have had, medical journals write about my eyesight. And so I'm on antiviral medication for life. I have to do seizure medication for the nerve pain and damage in the eyes. I've been eating Excedrin and Advil for years now on a daily basis. And it's a lot of medications that I take, steroid eye drops, and so I've been slowly, I don't drink alcohol because that upsets with the medications, and I've cut out on the white sugars, and I eat pretty healthy. And then my Aunt Bonnie, maybe at the beginning of the year, and she's really introduced our family. She's really on the cutting edge. Like when cell phones first started coming out, she would wear the headphones and talk about how they're bad for you, and filtered water and organic food. And so she was like, April, these patches are amazing. And she's had bone issues with her. And these patches have made, she had a fall, and she was fine, and she's walking with weights, and I'm like, wow, that's I've known you wow, Bonnie, that's impressive. Okay, I'll try them out. And so she sent me some patches back in January, and I started doing them, and they made me feel good. But then I was like, well, and my auntie was like, if you don't feel anything, that's fine. And I'm an Aries, that kind of impatient. And I was like, after maybe, I don't know, almost 2 weeks, I'm like, I don't know if I was gonna call her the next day and say, these aren't really working for me. I don't think they're working for me. And then that night I had this dream that was, I've lost almost all color unless it's a super neon and it's right near me. I have no color left. And this dream was in multi-technicolor that I haven't seen in years. And it was I was in a house looking out of a window, and there were these humongous timber wolves, in Technicolor. They were real. And I'm like, you know what? I'm staying on these couches. That was my signal to stay on them. And I've been on them for a few months. And I realized, okay, I told my auntie, yeah, I'd like to get off Excedrin, which I didn't think would be possible, and better. I'm a little depressed. Well, my brain function, like I feel like I have more wanting productivity, my ability to do more things, my brain function. This is just on the plain X30, the basic, not plain, but basic X39 patches. My brain functioning, I feel, is much better. I feel energy-wise, it's not like a caffeine where it's a lift and a crash. It's a constant that stays with me. It's an overall feeling of well-being, happiness. And then about 2 weeks ago, I realized, well, maybe last week, that, and I've been taking Excedrin and Advil literally, and I mean this for real, I'm not exaggerating, every day for at least 15 years, every day. And we're talking between 2 and 6, tablets a day, daily. And if I was able to go a day, that was amazing. And I realized I could count on one hand how many times in the last 2 months I've had Excedrin, is on one hand. And that's amazing. That is huge because, and so I've just been extolling the virtues of the X39.